Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. Investing, definitely a numbers game. We're trying to beat the odds. So I ask you, are the odds in your favor? I could tell you 100 different reasons why silver will be bullish over the next 5 years. I can also tell you 100 different reasons why stocks will not be bullish over the next 5 years. My name is Silver Slayer, not Stock Slayer, not even Gold Slayer. With that said, let's jump into the video. So silver and gold are definitely the safest investments. I mean, they're literally called Safehaven metals. And that is because when the dollar is very weak or in times of economic uncertainty, people transfer their fiat into precious metals, kind of like a security blanket, right? It's a protector of the wealth. People store their money in gold and silver because it holds its value when the dollar doesn't always do so. So looking at this from a gambling perspective, right? If you're trying to weigh out the pros and the cons, the risks versus the rewards, this should be a pretty easy no-brainer. Things like stocks, things that are pegged to the dollar, are very shaky, are on thin ice to collapse, and the ice is already cracking pretty heavily. Not much time left until you end up in that Arctic water, right? Silver and gold, it's kind of like chilling on a mountain, looking down and watching the people on the ice and saying, man, I don't know why they keep choosing that investment. I don't know why they keep choosing that. It's obviously way better up here, right? That's kind of how I look at people that don't invest in the precious metals. And anytime someone tries to tell me that precious metals are a bad investment, they always do the same thing every single time. They look at the price right now and talk about the price right now. And they look at it from a glass half empty point of view. What I mean by that is this. You'll see mainstream media all the time say precious metals are still bearish, the price is still low, you shouldn't start investing into it yet until we start to see some form of a bull market happening. So what they're saying is, since the price is low, you shouldn't buy it. Wait until the price starts getting more expensive. Wait until you're going to have to pay more money for your ounce of silver, and then buy it. That makes no sense whatsoever. So you're telling me that right now, since the price is really cheap and it's a great price where I can buy it for extremely low prices, you want me to not buy it, but you want me to buy it after the price is more expensive? It's like going to the store, seeing a pair of shoes you want. A pair of shoes are on discount, right? You want these shoes so bad. They're $60, and then you go back next week and the shoes are $85. Wouldn't you be mad? Wouldn't you want to buy the shoes when they're $60? Wouldn't you be mad about $85? They're telling me that they want you to buy the shoes at $85 and still expect to make money after that. That's ass backwards, and that's why they're mainstream media. They're not looking at where the price is headed. They look at the price right now and view their entire market from a day-to-day perspective. You have to you have to play the tape through. You have to look ahead. Where is the price going? It's not about what's happening right now. If you're investing in real estate, you're about to buy some rental property or something, you're not looking too much about the price right now. You're looking at the future. Is that neighborhood blossoming or diminishing? Are they building neighborhoods, building school zones, building shopping centers, or tearing them down? Because that's going to give you an idea in the next 5-10 years when you go to sell if the property value will rise or fall. You have to look at the future, and they don't do that. If you look at the future, it's blatantly obvious that precious metals is definitely the way to go. But they don't, and that's why anyone who tells you that you shouldn't invest in the precious metals, ask them why. And if they don't bring up the dollar index, if they don't bring up stimulus, if they don't bring up the diminishing supply with the rising demand, if they don't bring up any of that, then they do not know what they're talking about. They really don't. They can't even try to give a good argument because they don't even know what's on the table or what's really happening. So anyway, that's just my little spiel before we jump into the article. The link to this article is in the description. Let's jump into it. So silver momentum is positive, which suggests we're going to continue to see gains over the next year. Seasonality suggests that we may see the current pullback continue, but the start of 2021 will likely remain very bullish. And this always happens around the holidays. People sell a little bit of their gold and silver, for presents. It's that time of year. A lot of people traveling and stuff. They want to profit. Some have some extra cash, right? So we can profit through the mechanical trading strategy to exploit silver's momentum tendencies. As you can see, and I love the way they use the word exploit. That's what charts really do, right? Charts show you the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, people could talk about the price all they want, but that numbers don't lie, right? And that's why on this channel I've been trying to get more into charts, I guess, learn how to read charts better so I can apply the chart standpoint and intertwine that with, what's happening from an economical point of view. Then I can get a pretty good idea on where the price is headed. So as you can see in the following chart, it's been a fairly strong year for silver investors, with the price up 35% on a year-to-date basis. So while investors may be tempted to take profits at these levels, I believe this would be a mistake. Specifically, I believe that there's a very good chance that silver is going to rally over the coming year, and that now is actually a very good time to buy the commodity. And there you go. Rightfully so. Ask yourself if $25 silver is a high price. Ask yourself that and answer it realistically. Answer it honestly. Do you really think $26 silver is too high? Heck no. Heck no. Do you really think silver is still going to be $26 in the next 5-10 years? Heck no. There's no possible way. That's going against the laws of physics, right? I mean, there's no possible way. So if you know that, then why wouldn't you be buying it at these prices? Silver markets. In recent months, I've created a number of studies and indicators to help me understand where silver is likely going to head in the medium term. That's really good, because that's where a lot of people are looking at, the medium to long term. We're trying to get an idea of where the prices are headed then. So throughout this research, I have found a number of surprising and sometimes counterintuitive relationships which have a fairly strong predictive ability to call where silver is likely to travel. One of these relationships which I have found surprising is that between past and future returns in silver. What I mean by this is that there's a clear trend in the data in which silver has been performing well in the past. It is likely to continue to perform well in the future. And that's some good information, because charts, they do show the patterns, right? They show everything that's happening. You can apply that, but it's not for sure. Everything changes. So what I mean by that is the chart can show a pattern, but that pattern can change because times are changing. Things in the economy changes. The dollar index changes. Stock market volatility changes. Whoever is in power changes, right? Everything's ever changing. So you can't always rely on charts, but you can get a good idea of what's affecting that. If you break it down, take it a step even further, look at the patterns, look at what's happening during that time period. So when you see 69% with this time frame, what happened there, and then you can look at forwards and see like whatever's going to be happening this time. You can get an idea of where it's going to head. So it's kind of like reading between the lines of the lines. You know what I'm saying? So what this chart's showing is the average 1-year return in silver gold grouped by what its past 1-year return was at any given point in the data set. This data set has over 50 years of information, and it gives a very clear message. In general, the stronger the past performance of silver, the stronger the future performance is likely to be. For example, if one were to calculate this metric over the last few weeks, you would find that silver's increased about 35% over the past year. Historically speaking, when silver has increased this much over a 1-year period, the numbers are definitely in the favor of further upside for silver traders. For example, when silver's increased about around this amount, history shows the future returns on average substantially skewed to the upside. So we have some good information here, and this is just another reason to show you guys why silver is bullish, or how bullish silver really is, not the other 30-40 reasons, the other 30-40 videos I posted over the last couple months also giving other reasons. But I like how he starts this off right here. Nothing is even sure in investing. However, it generally pays to look for opportunities in which the upside gives more payout than the risk contained in the downside. And that's exactly what we're saying. For example, in the above chart, you can see that when silver has increased by 25-35% over a 1-year period, the next year on average trend tends to see upside movements substantially larger than downside movements. So it's definitely looking more plausible than not. And with anything else with stocks, you cannot say that. That's switching seats on the Titanic. The dollar's crashing, stocks are pegged to the dollar. We're heading in economic, recession / depression. Do you think stocks are gonna last? Do you know what word I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hear over the next couple of years is a stock market crash. So I like this chart. If you want to, by the way, I'm going to kind of highlight the main points and summarize what I need. If you want to read, every single paragraph and all that, links in the description. But he's basically just going over, the percentage, the chance of these things happening, the probability, the numbers within all that, and it's good stuff. So I want to hear this right here. This is what I was looking for. So put simply, I believe that now is a solid time to buy silver. Momentum tendencies clearly suggest that next year is likely going to see continued upside in the commodity, and seasonality shows while November and December may perform poorly, the first part of the year is likely to see a surge in silver's pricing. So he's basically saying this is the last time that we're going to see this type of silver, for this low of a silver price. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of this time, because next year there's likely going to be a surge, and we won't have a chance to pay $26 for an ounce of silver anymore. So you got to be on your toes. You got to be on your A game. You cannot be on the sidelines. You cannot be skeptical. You cannot be hesitant. You have to have faith. And if you don't have faith, then you shouldn't be investing. If you don't understand silver's true value, you shouldn't be investing. You guys got to understand this stuff, because someone who doesn't understand it, or someone who's blindly investing, they're not going to be successful. It's not realistic. It really isn't. There's too many things happening. There's too many things affecting prices nowadays. The markets are changing too quickly. They're more speculative, right? They're definitely more speculative, which is dangerous, but it's also profitable. So you got to be on your A game. So here's a conclusion. Silver momentum is positive, which suggests that we're going to continue to see gains over the next year. Seasonality suggests we may see the current pullback continue, but the start of 2021 will likely be very bullish. We can profit through a mechanical trading strategy to exploit silver's momentum tendencies. So that's what exactly we're going to do, folks. That's why you got to be subscribed. On a day-to-day basis, I'm going to show you more reasons, more evidence, more proof that silver is definitely the best investment. Like I said, my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer. Gold definitely has its advantages, right? You could fit $100,000 of gold in the shoebox. You cannot do that with silver. So gold has its advantages. It's also probably a safer, quote-unquote, safer investment over the long term, because silver is more volatile. It's like gold on steroids, which means it can be a little riskier, but I still see more opportunity with silver. You can buy a lot more of it. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot more affordable. There's a much bigger of a silver shortage, and with a higher silver demand, since silver is used in everything, especially as we advance technologically. I mean, we're heading in a digital era. Like, silver makes sense to me. If I can, and I've invested in the stocks, I've invested in the Bitcoin. So I'm not coming from a biased standpoint saying you must buy silver because this is what I like. No. I had a channel called Crypto Slayer. I talked about Bitcoin for years. I invested into Tesla. I invested into all these stocks, right? Amazon. I invested in all that. I understand all the markets. I understand how the blockchain works. I understand cryptocurrency. I understand all of that. I understand stocks. I understand precious metals. And for me, precious metals makes the most sense. And that's why I talk about it. If I thought something else made more sense, then I would talk about it. Just like when I saw Bitcoin making more sense a couple of years ago, I was talking about Bitcoin. A lot of you guys didn't like that, but I talked about it, and I made a lot of people a lot of money. But that's besides the point. The point is that silver definitely makes sense, and that's why I make these videos. I'm not trying to tell you to subscribe for the sake of me. I'm telling you to subscribe because I want you guys to get this information on a daily basis. I'm doing my homework. I'm working my butt off to give you guys 2-3 videos a day of the most relevant stuff you need to know. I'm never going to tell you stuff that you don't need to know. I'm never going to ramble on. I'm never going to share some random stuff. Everything I talk about is critical information that you need to know as an investor. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. Thank you so much for the insane amount of support on this channel. That shows that people are taking more interest in precious metals, and that's a great feeling. So glad you guys are sticking around, especially if you tuned in this long in the video. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm sure you're a great investor because you stuck around and got every single ounce of information this video had to offer. So shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.